Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you might be wondering, where is Metro? I came here from Metro. What is this? Well, you see, the god of misfortune has struck us. Unfortunately, when I recorded the next 2 hours or so, a little less than 2 hours I guess, what I didn't realize was that my OBS decided to be an asshole. You see, what happened was simply that I recorded those 2 hours of Metro, and then once I got into editing them, I realized there was no game audio. Now the same thing happened with my Divinity footage when I recorded Divinity. Now, for a while, I didn't realize what had happened. You know, the game audio wasn't muted or anything, but I found out that, as I said, OBS decided to be an asshole and simply just change my audio device for no apparent reason. And unfortunately, I didn't notice this until I got into editing. Now, I had no reason to suspect anything was going wrong, because everything had worked fine before this. So ultimately, I ended up with 2 hours or close to 2 hours of Metro footage that I could not really use because there was no audio. So I refused to put out the footage anyway, even if only my microphone audio was picked up. There's no game audio, which means it's just silent. You know, and this kind of game is very like story heavy, and we're constantly moving forward. So unfortunately, you know, it's just sad. You know, it really is just sad. So I thought, how can I fix this? How can I show what I experienced in those 2 hours? And I figured, you know what? Let's just go through it. Let's just go through that footage, and I will commentate on my thoughts at a time. We'll just go through it. We'll just go through it. Not the whole 2 hours, obviously. I'll just make a recap, kind of like a 10-minute recap, kind of. Why not, right? Why not? All right. So I'm just gonna be up here in this little box. Good old reaction cam, right? If you know what I mean. And we will be watching this 2 hours of recorded footage. Let's start, shall we? So we started off arriving in Polis, as you probably remember.
Back, ladies and gentlemen. We left off here last time.
Yep. So we arrived in Polis. And we told our story, the one that our good friend Hunter, I think, if I'm remembering that correctly, basically gave us the task of getting to Polis. And we got to Polis and we told our story, but as expected, they did not help us. Here, as you can see, we kind of just we told our story, and then we waited. We went, oh yeah, this happened as well. We ordered a drink. And what do you think happened? What do you think happened? We drank cup after cup, and as the world around us faded and disappeared, so did the people in front of us. Now at this point I was like, there's no way this guy is just gonna, right, because of course he is. And I mentioned how pretty much every bar I go to, the bartender ends up on the floor. I was also very hesitant to approach any of the hellspawn around here. So time passes and we get the decision, I guess, the verdict from the Council of Polis that they would not help us. So we obviously have to take things into our own hands, and they basically, this guy tells us of a well-preserved missile base near the city, and the only way to, well, and we don't know where it is, so we have to go to a library, a preserved library, to find info on this D6 base. Now, on the way there, we explore, obviously. We explore, we loot as best we can. Obviously, end up fighting a lot of mutants. Now, here we arrive at the library. And the game clearly seems to be lagging a bit. So, I mean, well, you know, not much we can do about that one. And we get attacked by mutants. Oh my god. Who could have seen that coming? Who could have seen that coming? Really, it is such a surprise. But this fight was definitely quite exhilarating. Definitely quite a difficult fight, honestly. And as you can see in the distance, a lot of mutants. As I fight these mutants and hold the line and kind of panic and almost die, I kind of you know, took out my guns and I kind of killed them all. But the fight kept going and going and going. It went for a long time, and I started getting overwhelmed up until the cavalry arrived, as you can see. And we formed a circle. Personally, I prefer triangles, but still, a circle works. And I believe at some point, we held the line. We held the damn line. This fight got crazy, man. We held the line as best we could. Now, once all the mutants were dead, we were tired, but we were one step closer to the library. And finally, we arrived. Yes, very good. But our arrival to the library wasn't as quiet as you might think. Or as he might think, at least. Immediately, we got attacked by a daemon. This guy runs, and then demon runs after him, and we close the door just in time to save his life. Now, while they block off the door, I looked for a way further. Now, once we got one step further into the library and closed the door behind us, by that, I still don't know how that works, but okay. We moved one step further into the library. Now, we opened a lot of doors in fashion. That's just a great way to open a door, I must say. 10 out of 10 if I was rating this. Now, once we get to this big ass room here, unfortunately, we are not alone. The demon comes, attacks, swings in, flies in, grabs one of our friends, and he gets ragdolled. He gets absolutely ragdolled. But he's still alive. And at this moment, I was like, there is no way he's still alive. Literally no fucking way is he still alive. But he's alive, apparently. Here, they basically say, hey, go on without us. I gotta take him back to the hospital. So we went on without him. And in the next little area, we would meet our match. There he is, right there. Yes. Now this motherfucker, Jesus, this guy the mother of all mutants. They call him the librarian, or librarians, because there's multiple. There's not just one, there's multiple, as I found out later on. So I tried to sneak past them, but eventually, we tango. And it was at this moment when I started blasting. We looked each other in the eyes, and I knew shit was about to go down. It was just one of those moments. This was definitely the first really difficult fight and enemy that I had to fight. But finally, we managed to kill it. Now, we get to the elevator. But there's another one. And what a surprise, our hero arrives just in the nick of time. And what do we see? Goddamn King Kong versus Godzilla. Shit goes down. I had no idea what the fuck was going on. I was like, Jesus Christ. We fight some more, fight another librarian here and there. Now, finally, at some point, we get underground, and we sneak past a bunch of sleeping librarians, and then finally arrive at what looks to be some sort of, information center with a bunch of locked boxes, saves, and just in general stuff. So we find ourselves in this room. Now at this point I was like, and bear in mind we had librarians nearby, right? Everything was quiet. You had to be quiet, right? But this guy, this protagonist, this silent protagonist is like, yoink. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Bear in mind, you can't hear because that's the whole reason I'm doing this commentary right now. But basically, he was like throwing shit around, throwing these shelves, just these metal shelves, and it's like, dude, that shit is loud as fuck, right? Like, I was like, dude, like, stop doing that. Calm the fuck down. What the fuck are you doing, dude? And then obviously, as you can see, we find the D6 documents. And finally, we are like, uh-oh. Let's run. Let's make a lot of noise and run. You know, why not? And then finally, we get out. And as you can see, we finally managed to get out of the library. There was a lot of noise coming from the underground area over there. And then finally, we get out. But, surprise, surprise, librarian, baby. And immediately we have a face-off. But, cavalry to the rescue. Now at this moment, I was like, oh yeah, baby. Ooh, yeah. Great entrance, boys. Great fucking entrance, boys. Now, they basically tell us that that Khan guy, told us where I was. We drive to their base, I guess. Quick little drive. The first and so far the only human outpost, Sparta's outdoor base, as they say. Now here we meet Khan again, as you can see, and he tells us that we are silent protagonists, as we already knew. That's about it. He doesn't really say much, I don't think. In general, he's just kind of unhelpful. Now with the documents about D6 in hand, we find our way, or rather we find our path to the D6 base, I guess you could say. And we saddle up, and this is our squad right there, as you saw. The squad of dreams, baby. I don't know why I keep saying baby when I record. What the fuck is wrong with me? Jesus Christ, dude. The squad of dreams moves out. Khan does nothing. Or rather stays there. We leave. We go into this car and, well, now as we're driving towards our destination, something weird happens. Like, Artyom is having some difficulties. You know, clearly too much of that vodka, you know, too much vodka, and he basically just passes out. He couldn't hold his vodka, and he passes out in front of the guys, in front of the boys. He passes out like a goddamn pussy boy. Wouldn't want to be him. Just saying. Don't be like Artyom. Don't be like Artyom. Anyway, so we have a dream. And we see our long-lost wife in the distance. I think. Yes, we see our wife, right? That's what I was saying at the time. But the boys bring us out of it. The boys bring us out of it. And unfortunately, we will never see our wife again. So sad. Sad times indeed. So on the way to D6, I need to take a flamethrower to some mutants. And as I'm taking the flamethrower to some mutants, we arrive at our destination. Now once we arrive, after a lot of looting and looking around, I join the gang. We proceed through the door. Shit's getting real here. It's crazy. You won't believe what happens next. There's a lot of shooting, a lot of mutants, a lot of crazy shit going on. And some of these fuckers are disgusting, I might add. Now obviously, as you can see, we lost our good friend Boris. Yes, I definitely didn't forget his name. He was a long time friend of just 20 minutes. In any case, our first casualty, unfortunately, we could not do anything to save him. Now, on our way forward, I have a completely dumbass idea to go under this massive door, thinking this will definitely not crush me, and then it almost does. Like, are you stupid? So as we're separated from our gang, from the boys, we try to make our way back to them. Try to make our way back to them. And as you can see, well, some new enemies. Spiders, mutated spiders. After a while, we managed to reunite with the boys. And unfortunately, they had lost another dude. Another one of the boys has died. It was a sad day. It was truly a sad day. For all of us, really. Now at this point, would you look at that? A fully functioning train. Now obviously we board it, even though there is no passengers, no driver, no nothing. Or operator, I guess you could say. A train operator. In any case, we decide we'll take a ride, right? Because this probably leads us to D6. And once we arrive at our destination here, this is where I left off. And this is where you'll see us continue next time. And I will make sure that this audio problem does not happen again, because I already know how to fix it, and I have already fixed it. So yeah, hope you're caught up now, and yeah, you didn't miss too much. Just a couple of death of the boys, and yeah, we'll see you next time.